3 bottles of beer. What are you going to do with all this?
I'm gonna drink them.
Okay. Try and keep the break down to like about 20, 25 minutes so we don't...
Well, starting when?
Starting from the journey.
So tell me what time exactly we go on.
According to the clock out there, you got off at 2:22, so add 20 minutes, like about 2:42, quarter to 3, 2:45.
Okay.
Side of a half minute though.
Eastern Standard Time. Sounded good.
Thank you.
I got the smoke alarm off just as your fog was coming on.
Yeah, well,
Did
that
you hear
bubble
that?
machine is not really bubbling.
Hi, I'm Bud Redding, and I used to work across the street here when it was the Continental. I started off just coming here to dance and have fun. Eventually became the DJ upstairs. It was a 2-level bar. Downstairs was a stage with live music every night. Upstairs was DJs and a huge dance floor. Then for a few years I booked all the bands downstairs and ran the stage and was one of the managers of the place. People come in, they'd go downstairs, get the 2-for-1s to midnight, get a good buzz on, go upstairs and dance for a while. Hey, my favorite band's coming on downstairs, and you go back downstairs, watch the bands for a while. There was a little smoking lounge out back where people would hang out there. Sometimes they'd serve food, hot dogs and stuff in that back lounge.
And this particular night, rock legends The Fix were downstairs, and there was some kind of a S&M party going on upstairs. You bought your tickets and you went in, but right before you went in, you could veer right to go see The Fix, or you could veer left to go upstairs to this party. If you chose the party route, part of your admission was you got the right to slap a guy who was wearing assless chaps and kind of in the prone position. You got to slap him on the ass before you went up to the party. And I still to this day think about what these guys from The Fix must have thought about that night at the Continental, when half the people were slapping somebody on their way upstairs and the other half were coming down to see them at the Continental. I think it was pretty routine for the Continental. I'm not sure it was routine for a Fix concert.
And I struck up a friendship with him. He's like, hey, let's go to the Continental. And so we get there, and the same kind of a similar situation, walk up the stairs, everything's super dark. But I do remember that the very first song I heard when I got upstairs was New Order, Temptation. And I was blown away, the hook in that song. And then the weirdest thing was everybody in the upstairs, when they came to the part where they're doing the ooh, ooh, everybody in the whole room was doing that. And I was just like blown away.
You go to the Continental on this Friday or Saturday night, you know, there were usually 6 bands on the bill per night. There was a lot of bands going on at that time. The sound was all remarkably different. Like if you went to a femme show, you got this thing. You went to a Goo show, you got this thing. Paper Faces, that sound. So in a way, it was really kind of diverse time for music too, because people were either going down more the Euro route or the American punk route.
The Continental, the zombie of the Continental, going to the Continental week after week after week after week, as if hypnotized.
You know, the Continental, you know, was obviously pre-internet time, and I think that is probably the biggest difference, because all those things that you need and you get now, you know, influence and ideas and inspiration and such, you know, you can get a lot of that on your phone, you know, but back then you couldn't. So you had to find that adventure, and you had to find like-minded people, and you had to find people who would think out of the box.
I cannot say, there is a word I cannot say.
I did meet my wife there too, so it was definitely a big part of my life.
Some of the best nights were the nights that Mark Freeland played. I mean, anything he was associated with was a good time. It was always crowded, it was always fun. You never knew what was going to happen.
And the Continental was almost an instant success because it was the only place that, it was the first place that unabashedly accepted only new wave.
I, for one, and many people did the same thing. We just kind of went, okay, here it is. You know, plant the flag. I'm here 6 nights a week from now on.
McVan's all of a sudden, I mean, it seemed like within a month or two, got eclipsed by the Continental. Like the Continental just decided it was going to do this, and it took the business away from McVan's, and that was it for McVan's.
Continental was great. It had upstairs, downstairs. You could get away from the music and go up and dance.
Yeah, it was like a Toronto nightclub.
One of the best things about the Continental was that everyone was included. There were blacks, whites, Hispanics, Native Americans. They're still friends of mine to this day. Everyone was included. Straight, gay, bi, trans.
It was like the combat zone in Buffalo. It was like prostitutes outside.
Plus, a lot of bikers used to come in there. I remember there'd be nights and go in there. He wrote the Outlaws, not the Outlaws. There's I think it was the Outlaws. They would line up their bikes right in front of the Continental, and so anybody coming in there thinking they're going to start trouble, yeah, it just wasn't going to happen.
It was a place that anybody could go to. I think a lot of people were afraid to go to it because they saw people with like mohawks or that looked different. But if they actually would venture into it, anybody could come in. You know, no, it wasn't like if you came in with like a polo shirt or something, people wouldn't talk to you. People were like very open.
We brought Lance Diamond to perform there with us for the first time, my friend Lance. And, at the time I was probably 20. He was probably 50. And I thought he was ancient, But I remember bringing him in, and we were playing with the band Forgotten Rebels. And I remember he came in and there was a big rebel flag hanging on the back wall, and he looked at me and he's like, what is going on in this? And I'm like, I don't think they know what they're doing. Let's just go play. And like Lance just jumped up there and like just slayed this place, man. And I just remember standing up there like looking around going, okay, like everybody's here to see something different. This is super different, and we went on to do that, all over the country. We went on to do that, but like without that place being accepting of something like that, that we never would have done it the first time, but it bred that acceptance, even with that stupid flag on the wall, the place bred acceptance. It really did.
Oh, also Bud Burke. One night we were doing an after hours party. It was really like right when I first started working there, and they closed the front door. It was like 4:30 in the morning. We're all just hanging out at the bar, drinking, talking. And Bud Burke comes up to me. He goes, "You're not afraid of dogs, are you?" I said, "No." He goes, "Oh, okay, I'll be right back." And he just wanders away. I'm like hanging out, drinking. All of a sudden, out of the back hallway come these 2 giant German Shepherd dogs. And I'm not kidding you, man. They were so big. And the dog comes right up to me. The one of them comes, and they were called, one's name was Hitler, the other was Mussolini. And they were in the premises all the time. So that when the nightclub was open, they were in Bud's office in the back, near the back patio. So I'm thinking, oh, this dog is gonna he's gonna take something out from me right now. And no, they were just the biggest, gentlest puppies when you were not doing something stupid.
He would let the dogs roam around because he didn't want anybody to break in. And guess what the German Shepherds would do on the stage?
And then next door was a mission. It's a salon now, but that was a mission run by some Catholic nuns. And I remember we'd have a big holiday show. Usually the Femmes or a band like that would play. And at the end of the night, Bud Burke said he was the owner. He was a great guy, big influence on our lives. He gave us a place to party every night. So after that Christmas show, he said, "Come on, thing, we're gonna go next door to the mission." And we walked over there, and he knocked on the door, and the nuns were like, "Hi, Mr. Burke, what can we do for you?" And he said, "I have a donation for you tonight." And he handed him, I swear it was $5,000, a stack of money. He gave him all the profits from the night, and he would do that every year at the Christmas show.
Just he was the type of man who was very quiet, but when he spoke, it meant something, so you had to listen.
It was a place, for all us oddballs to congregate. And you know, yeah, and I'm really thankful for it.